Crystal here from Crystal's Quail and Cocktails. Sorry about the noise. My neighbor is having their grass cut. These are, in this bin are two birds that are in recovery. One is a male and one is a female. They were in the same cage. So it's not typical for females to be injured. When that happens, sometimes it's a over-aggressive male, or because I do feel like the males are ready to get busy before the girls, or we have a mean girl. So I'm going to take you over to the cage where the mean girl resides. Alright, so this cage down here had 6 quail in it. 5 hens, 1 rooster. I had one hen get injured a couple weeks back. She's recovered and I put her in a group of all girls. But then the other day, the male was injured, which can happen. If the girls don't like the boy, he's a little too amorous, he's ready to get busy before she is, then the girls can be mean to him. But then the next day, I had another injured girl, the one you saw in the bin. So what that tells me is there's a mean girl in here. So I'm checking it right now. They seem fine. We'll see if these girls get along together or if injuries are going to continue to occur. If I can tell who the mean girl is because she's beat everybody up or she may have blood on her from injuring other birds, then I will pull her out. I have successfully housed mean girls together, but what I do is I put bits in their noses and house them together for about 2 weeks, and then I take the bits out and I've had success. Otherwise, you probably want to put the mean girl down because you don't want to keep dealing with injuries. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to relocate the injured quail that are in recovery up to this empty cage because I just moved some birds around. And then I need to get ready to put babies. I have babies in the house in those bins over there. So I need to prepare those. In these cages are what was supposed to be Celadons. So I got some males from someone who had told me they were Celadons, but as you can see, there are brown eggs. Not cool. So what I've had to do is separate the birds out, see who's laying blue and who's laying brown. So what I was doing was putting 2 birds in a cage. If one was blue, one was brown, then I'd separate them, figured out who was blue, and then tag them. This cage was supposed to be all Celadons, but as you see, there's a brown egg, so I must have mistagged somebody. And there was an instance where I had a cage where I saw a brown egg and a blue egg, and I don't know how that happened. Maybe there was an egg I didn't see and I didn't collect. So what I've done is I've taken the birds out, so there's 2 in there, 2 in there, and then 2 girls down in that cage with the male, and then I'll be able to see, are they all blue? Whichever cage has the brown and the blue egg, then I'll separate those 2 so that way I know which one's the brown, and I'll return the brown into this group of tuxedos, and then they'll just be brown layers. Now the male that's in here is should be 100% Celadon male. In order for me to figure out for sure, once I get that brown girl out, I will have to incubate eggs, grow them out, and verify that they all lay blue. So this process is a pain in the you know what. I have my Celadons have always been 100%. So this is frustrating for me because I need to get them back to that. And it's hard to find Celadons to add to your bloodline. Alright, so up here we have lots of birds. These birds are I think 4 weeks old, maybe a little over that. That's why they're in a crowded space, to help them stay warm. They have extra water, so they have 2 cups in there, but then I have extra waters on top since there's so many birds. Once I get these Celadons figured out, then I'll be able to open up cages. Like this whole level will be available. And then once the injured birds are recovered, this will also be available. It is going to be a little crowded for a little while. However, when I move those birds, that's going to make it a lot better. But this is still too many birds for these cages. I bought 3 additional cages. I built 2, so I'm in the process of expanding. So I don't overcrowd my birds. I keep 6 hens to 1 male in one section, so that turns out to be 14 birds on a level, which is way less than what they say the levels can hold. But that's what I feel good about. Oh, you see that girl right there? Right there, all the way to the left. That's the one that was injured by a mean girl and was in recovery. And so now I've just put her in with all girls, because the girls in this cage didn't like the boy. But I have a whole section of males further away. They're in a chicken tractor. That's the bachelor pad. They're growing out for meat, but I will replenish my males so that way I can have fertile eggs. All right, so this is what's going on today. Yeah, just random chat. Oh, maybe I should show you this boy. So the girl didn't require any gluing. She just required cleaning, and here she's taking a dust bath in her food. So I took the top off of the feeder because I didn't want them with injured heads to have to stick their heads in the holes. But it's been a couple days. I'll probably still put an open feeder in the cage I'm going to put them in, though they'll have access to stick their head through the bars, just because I don't know if I'd want to stick my head through the bars with with a injury that's recovering. So let me pull this boy out so I can give you a little more close-up view of his injuries, which were pretty severe. Okay. So I glued his head, trying to see, and you can see that eye is still in recovery, and he has a little bump there, but there wasn't really anything I could do about that. This eye is good, but he'll be fine. I can't put him back in with the same girls because odds are they'll beat him up again. So he'll have to either go in with a different group or go into the meat section. But he's doing good. His injury looks good. I think I glued his head 2 days ago, so that actually looks pretty great. You look good, buddy. I know, those girls are mean, aren't they? I know. I'm sorry about that. But these 2 are living together already. So if I can figure out the mean girl, then I'll put the original group back together and pull her out. But if not, then they'll have to go into a different group because they'll get injured again. Mean girls hold grudges, I guess. Oh, these are my mountain quail. It's muddy. Do you see this? I have a tiny, teeny, weeny little hole, and I put this Flex Seal tape on it. It's supposed to be waterproof, but it still leaks. So annoying. So it makes it super muddy in here. But where are they? Oh, there's one. These are my mountain quail. They're also currently breeding. You can tell, so mountain quail are native to the West Coast, Washington down to Mexico. I'm not exactly sure of the numbers. I think I might have 3 males, 2 hens, or it might be the other way around. I'd have to look back. I have a paper somewhere that tells me who's who based on their leg band color. But they are breeding. I found 2 eggs in there, and you can tell that they're ready to start because you'll hear this sound. It's kind of hard to explain. And then the hen will kind of like squat down, but the boy isn't trying to get busy yet. So that's what starts it. Then the hens will throw hay or whatever nesting material you put in there. They'll start throwing it over their shoulder, and then you'll start seeing them get busy. So I know there's a male in there with a red leg band. He really likes the girl with the pink leg band, so they've been doing their thing. This is a Silky. This is Kitty. My chickens were really mean to her, so she lives in here. She lived in the aviary and just kind of like ran around. I felt like it was like a little dog you'd have run around your house. But it took a couple tries but I eventually, I think being used to seeing the mountain quail through the fencing here, I was able to put her in there so she wasn't lonely by herself. And they get along. Her and Rainier are good friends. So I only named one mountain quail. Rainier hatched out. She was like one of the latest hatch. And you can't put mountain quail that are too far away in age together, or they'll peck each other's toes. So she lived in the house for a while until she was full grown, and then I could move her out here with the group. So she's the most friendly of the mountain quail. She got a name. She used to sit on my shoulder. I could walk outside. She wouldn't even budge. But she's past that now. I think she still remembers me, but I can't put her on my shoulder and walk around. She would probably be gone. So, but I enjoy the mountain quail. They're eye candy. You wouldn't want to eat their eggs. They would be very expensive eggs to eat because they only lay during breeding season. They don't lay like chickens and the Coturnix quail. Alright, well, hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. I am going to, like I said, move the injured birds into this empty space, and then I'm going to prepare those 3 brooders for the babies that I have in my house. I have about 120, so lots of babies, and I'm going to put them in here. So in these bins, I like to keep 20 quail per bin, so obviously that's double. However, the last hatch that I had, I was not able to sell off my excess. So what I did, my excess quail, so what I did instead was, once I could tell males from females, it's windy, you hear the tarp slapping against the aviary. Once I could tell males from females, then which was I think I could tell right before 3 weeks, and they say it's like 3 to 4 weeks, but I could tell the majority at 3 weeks. I called the males with dry ice. I do have a video posted. They're still in my freezer. I need to list them as feeders for sale, but I haven't done that yet. I also have to package them. Yeah, so then that reduced my numbers. So if I have 120, then I can assume 60 will be hens. I keep 6 hens per cage. That fills 10 cages. So that would fill this entire cage, because I have 5 levels on this one. The new cages that I have 6 levels, and they're very tall. So, yeah. And I have 2. No, I have 3. So I need to fill 3 cages. So I need to keep hatching, but I'm not convinced everyone's getting busy yet, so I don't want to like the boys I think are ready to be busy, but the girls aren't ready to let them, so I want to wait until I see more birds breeding before I start setting eggs, because I want to have a good hatch rate. Oh, and then also the babies that I have in the house, They are Egyptian and Pharaoh, I think. I'm really bad with the bird feather colors. But do you hear those birds? They're chirping because they're like, where's my friends? Where are they at? Don't worry, you haven't. Oh, quail also lay eggs late in the day. These eggs that you see are from yesterday. So I'm going to move them so that way I can tell who's blue, who's brown. But basically the quail that have been separated are chirping to their friends, wondering where their friends are at. So I'll be able to tell today, since I moved them before they start laying, which cage has the brown, and then I'll just separate those two, and everybody will go back together. Oh my goodness, it's so much stuff to do. So many things to think about. Yeah. I think I was going to tell you something else, and now I can't think of it. Oh, the quail that I have in the house. So they're Egyptian and Pharaoh, I think. Like I said, I'm bad with the colors, but if I take males from one of that coloring and girls from the other, I don't remember what it is, I have notes written down, and breed them together, then I'll get sex-link quail chicks. So what that means is I'll be able to tell when they hatch boys from girls based on their feather color. So I decided to try that. So I get my fertile eggs from my shire, and Zach had sex-link birds before, which I bought from him, but I guess he stopped because people were getting confused on which ones were males and females. I didn't have an issue with that, but I guess some people did. It caused confusion. But he told me which ones to breed together. So I'm going to do that and hopefully have sex-link quail chicks. And then I will call the males basically from the incubator. They'll go from the incubator into the carbon dioxide chamber, and then they'll become feeders for reptiles and snakes. So yes, I have sold quail as feeders, and depending on the size of the bird, or depending on the size of the snake, depends on what size bird the snake can eat. So yes, it's interesting. This quail adventure has taken me all over the place. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna stop chatting, or rambling, which is what I feel like I'm doing. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. I'm gonna play in bird poop, and the cages are clean, but it makes me happy. I don't know why, but it does. All right, happy Saturday.